exciting guest, and I will allow her to introduce herself.
My name is Sima Cordelia. I'm 9 years old, and I come from Kitsumba, and my name is Sima Cordelia. I'm 9 years old. I come from Kitsumba. I'm from Green Circle School, P4 class.
Today we have a very exciting topic about poverty and hunger, as you can see on the screen below. And before we begin, I'll allow Parental Care to share what they have for us.
Fort TV, stay entertained.
Greetings, my name is Ampire Neri Wendy, a pupil from Parental Care Nursery and Primary School located in Ushenyi. I am 12 years old. I am in Primary 6 class. I am here to give a speech entitled Food Insecurity. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you to address a deeply rooted and painful issue that eats up our world, the problem of food insecurity. This challenge calls for our immediate attention and thoughtful action. As we embark on this journey to find a solution, we must approach it not only with practical but also philosophical views with compassion and responsibility. In the depth of ourselves, we must recognize that food insecurity is an injustice that no human being should endure. Yet, according to the United Nations, over 690 million people suffer from chronic food insecurity, while 2 billion people experience severe or moderate food insecurity. When one person goes hungry, we all suffer a collective humanity which is diminished. To address this monster, we need to embrace the philosophy of sufficiency. Not merely a matter of providing more food, but creating systems that ensure access to nutritious, safe, and enough food for all. We should redirect resources from wasteful practices and excessive consumptions to address food insecurity. In conclusion, my friends, the solution to this challenge requires a collective responsibility. It is time to go beyond mere awareness and take tangible actions to address this crisis. The future of our planet lies in our hands. Let's take action today, now and now. Thank you for your attention. Greetings to all my fellow learners, my fellow friends, even my family plus relatives at home. Thank you.
My name is Ampila Gift Gabriel, a learner from Parental Care Primary and Nursery School. I am 12 years old. I'm here to recite a poem entitled Corruption, the Cancer Eating Our Nation. Corruption's grip, a tale so old, of power, thought, and morals sold. The greed for wealth, the thirsty for fame. When will it end? Corruption, the cancer eating our nation. In Uganda's lands, where nature's beauty lies, a shadow roams the corruption vice. The power-hungry, greed and sly prey on the poor with no remorse to pay, diverting funds meant for the needy and assign their pockets without a pity. When will it end? Corruption, the cancer eating our nation. Against the tide of darkness that seemed too bright like a midnight star, but hope still lives in Uganda's heart. A yearning for justice, a bright new start, a land plenty for all to share, a place where corruption has no place to bear. When will it end? Corruption, the cancer eating our nation. Roads becoming dead ends. Cars meant to be driven on what is left. Traffic officers indulging in theft as long as you can afford a note to their pocket. Accidents over the country, no one is safe. When will it end? Ugandans, have called you thrice. Let's take part in fighting the vice. If we are to die as heroes, let's not sit back to wail and sob, for them will be cowards and betrayers, and our death will be painful and shameful. Let's work hard as countrymen and women so that we don't perish as fools. In my conclusion, I send my greetings to my fellow pupils, my parents, my relatives, and all my fans. Thank you.
Hello viewers, I'm Trina, your host of Free Talk program eyebayo from Monday to Friday kutandika saha ina mpaka saa 5 nikitweka. Thank you so much. Stay entertained.
Fort TV, stay entertained.
I am by names of Ichirza Pamela Faith from Parental Care Nursery and Primary School located in Bushenyi. I stand before you to tell you a story about a boy who was in my class and how he realized corruption kills dreams. Kabalega was a boy in my class who would participate in tournaments and would come back victorious. He would win medals and trophies. He would
Fort TV, stay entertained.
That we even nicknamed him Kiprotich. Because of his good morals and behaviors, our class teacher encouraged him to run for the post of class monitor. He won by over 90%. When he was a class monitor, he would make sure the class was always clean. He would make sure that children were always well dressed. He would even write you on the list of noisemakers, even if you were his friend. But one day, I realized a boy named Blair has never appeared on the list of noisemakers. I asked myself why. Then that's when I found out Blair has been bribing Kabalega. So some other children also found out and started bribing Kabalega with sweets and biscuits. Our class lost control. It was full of commotion. Our class teacher asked himself what was happening. Yet we have a good class monitor. So our class teacher entered our class and started investigating what was happening. Then that's when he found out children have been bribing Kabalega with sweets and biscuits. So he was demoted from his post of being a class monitor, and he was suspended for not only 1 day but 1 whole week. His father was furious. So he decided for him to spend that 1 week of suspension at his aunt's place. On his way to his aunt's place, a traffic officer stopped that taxi that he was traveling in because it was overloaded and it was overspeeding. But Kabalega saw the conductor pushing his arm into his pocket and pulling out a 5,000 shillings note and handing it to the traffic officer. No sooner had the traffic officer let the taxi go, it was involved in an accident. Kabalega was injured. He was in need of surgery. Luckily, he was rushed to the hospital, but the doctors refused to work on him because his aunt had not yet paid some money. After a few minutes, his father sent some money and they worked on him. But the doctors informed him it was too late. The doctors told him he would be able to walk again, but not to run. The dream of the running man was dead. And that's when Kabalega stood there and thought to himself, why did I accept those bribes? Why wasn't the traffic officer honest to himself? And that's when Kabalega realized corruption kills dreams. Thank you. I send greetings to everyone. Thank you. That's the end of my story. I am by names of Ichuza Pamela Faith, and I stand before you to tell you a story entitled The Corrupt Doctor. Back then, when I was 9 years old, I was living with my aunt, but she was pregnant. One day, we were at home, me, my uncle, and my aunt. My aunt felt like delivering a baby. So my father looked for any means of way to take her to the hospital, but we had no money to transport her. So we decided to transport my aunt on a bicycle. But they could not leave me alone at home because we had no maid. So they decided to take me with them. We walked with them. I was walking on foot. My aunt was being pushed on a bicycle. We reached there in time, but the doctors refused because my aunt did not have money. So I thought of going there because I was a child, thinking that they would favor me, but instead they just pushed me away like I was nothing. I just sat down and started crying for my aunt. My aunt was in tears, crying, please, please help me. My father was also crying. So my father, who was helping my aunt to be there at the hospital, called my uncle, who was also on the way coming. He sent some money, and after sending that money, the doctors were very happy. They pretended like even they cared in the first place. They put smiles on their faces, big smiles, like as if they cared. My aunt delivered a baby, but the baby was a newborn baby. So the baby needed intubation. But all the 3 doctors who were going to provide the baby with intubation were not around. But the owner of the hospital gave us one of their phone numbers. So we called him, but instead he was asking for transport money. My aunt and my uncle did not have that money. So they decided to take the baby home. On our way home, the baby stopped breathing. My aunt was panicking. My uncle was panicking. The worst thing happened. The baby died. My aunt was in tears, holding that dead baby in her hands. She was crying. So it reached the time of the funeral, but the chairperson LC5 found out and informed the government. The government closed that hospital and arrested all the doctors who were there because of accepting bribes. So they closed that hospital, but my aunt was also still sad. Our family was so sad. We were all in tears, shedding tears day and night. We did not know what to do. We just stood there and buried the baby with our own 2 eyes. Thank you.
is Ampira Gift Gabdera, a learner from Parental Care Primary and Nursery School. I'm 12 years old. I'm here to recite a poem entitled Food Insecurity. Food insecurity. Weak, hopeless and sorrowful I stand, wondering at the cruelty of the beast that has found pleasure in greed. Oh, greed! Leaving us at the mercy of the Lord. People dying in scramble, leaving the country with nothing but in shambles, devouring it, tearing it apart. Money, an afternoon thought. Oh, an afternoon thought. Is this the way we have sacrificed our country? Turning it into the end of survival, selling our pride to the monster? No, no, no. I shout as insecurity of food strangles my voice. Let the cry of my lips tickle your hearts. Alas, the nation we knew, the pearl of the blacks, with joy you sang, beauty is black. As insecurity of food grips our land, songs of pride are lost in our dreams. Arise, I call for help. Together we can plant, harvest and eat. Seeds of hope, a farmer's call to endure. Remember, 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 health is wealth for God and my country. Thank you.
Fort TV. Stay entertained.
Welcome back from that short presentation. I have a few questions that I picked from there that I would like to ask her, and I hope she's able to answer. So, Cordelia, the first presenter mentioned, I guess it was about food insecurity. So, you've been hearing messages about like the people in Karamoja are suffering because they don't have what to eat. So if you are like a government official, like Ministry of Food and Sanitation somewhere there, what would you do to help them?
I would send food to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I would hope everyone would get, and I would hope every home would get food every day.
And then what if it arises, there is a complaint that arises that there are some families that haven't received food? What do you do?
I would make sure they get the food.
Okay, and then what happens? As industrialization arises, land for farming is being reduced, is being replaced with industrialization. So how if you are a government official again, how would you like stop all that industrialization, taking up space for farms? How would you stop it?
Let me see. Like I would get another land full of fertile soils.
And then what happens if industry for maybe some kind of T-shirts or toys, and they are going to sell very well, and like they talked about corruption, you love money so much, what do you do?
Like I will. Could you first repeat that? Is
okay. I said like they said that there is this shirt, there is this toy, there is this product they want to make, and they need that land that you chose that has fertile soils that they want to make. They want to put the industry there, and you're a corrupt official. You like money so very much that you would give up everything for it. what do you do? And remember, people in Karamoja are suffering.
I wouldn't give it to them.
Okay. So moving on, they talked about corruption. So did you hear about this government official who was corrupt? He accepted the money. There were some iron sheets that were supposed to be taken to Karamoja sub-region, but because she was corrupt, she sold them. Did you hear that story? No. But it was there. So if you are the one in that situation, they tell you that you give us these iron sheets, we'll give you this amount of money. What would you do?
I would still take them to Karamoja.
And also they talked about, are you a class monitor?
No, I'm a prefect.
So now let's talk about corrupt prefects. If you said you're a prefect on what post?
MDD.
Now if they, can I find something on that? No. Okay, let me talk about if you're like a head prefect and the children. Let's say you're like in school they say that those ones who remain outside after the bell for break time, when break time is over and they ring the bell, if you remain outside, you pick the compound. Now, there comes some children, they start bribing you, and you accept the bribes. And then they catch you accepting bribes. What would you explain to the electoral commission of that school?
Let me see. Actually, I couldn't accept the bribes.
You wouldn't accept the bribes. Okay, so how would you choose that corruption in Uganda is stopped? Because I know they have already made anti-corruption. What do they call it? Anti-corruption thingy. I don't know what it's called actually, but it's there. I've seen some signposts next to our school about anti-corruption. And so if you are a government official, because this anti-corruption thing is not working very well, what do you do? To add on anti-corruption, what else would you add on?
I've not got your question.
Okay. Let me simplify it for you. They've already introduced anti-corruption, stopping people from being corrupt. But you find out this thing of anti-corruption is not working very, very well. So what exactly do you add on so that you can stop it completely for good?
I would set rules about it.
You set laws?
Rules.
Rules? And if they don't follow?
They'll get arrested.
Okay. Let's first repeat that last episode. On what? On food insecurity.
My name is Ampira Gift Gabdera, a learner from Parental Care Primary and Nursery School. I'm 12 years old. I'm here to recite a poem entitled Food Insecurity. Food insecurity. Weak, hopeless, and sorrowful I stand, wondering at the cruelty of the beast that has found pleasure in greed, oh greed, leaving us at the mercy of the Lord. People dying in scramble, leaving the country with nothing but in shambles, devouring it, tearing it apart. Money, an afternoon thought. Oh, an afternoon thought. Is this the way we have sacrificed our country? Turning it into the end of survival, selling our pride to the monster? No, no, no. I shout as insecurity of food strangles my voice. Let the cry of my lips tickle your heart. Alas, the nation we knew, the pearl of the blacks, with joy you sang, beauty is black, as insecurity of food grips our land, songs of pride are lost in our dreams. Arise, I call for help, together we can plant, harvest and eat, seeds of hope, a farmer's call to endure. Remember, 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 health is wealth for God and my country. Thank you.
So she was calling what? The Ugandans to arise. And you're a child, right? So if you wanted to supply food at your age, what would you do?
I'll get other people, as like my friends and family, would go around would go around places and then would start serving food.
For me, to my opinion, I would talk to the chairperson, LC1. We organize something like food supply to the poor on Sunday. We solicit funds, we buy food, and we give it to the poor. That's my thought. So let's first go for a short break. We'll be right back.
Hi viewers, this is your girl Princess Agi of the Girls Talk every Saturday 7 to 8:30 p.m. You can as well download the Fort TV mobile app from your Google Play Store, and you can also follow us on all our social media platforms, it be WhatsApp, TikTok or Facebook. Fort TV, stay entertained.
Okay, what's good my people? It's your boy Strawberry Kiss, your official host of Western Connect that happens every single Sunday 2 to 4 p.m. Keep it for TV, stay entertained.
Fort TV.
Yeah, greetings to the world. I don't know it's a regional real and proper Mr. Benny Gunter straight out of Gunter City to the world now. You're watching Fort TV. Make sure you keep it locked in.
Stay entertained.
So welcome back from that short break. I would like to share a situation. I'm going to just make up a story. So there is this child who is at home living in a small village. Actually, they have a lot of land, but they don't know what to use it for. So yes, he goes to school, but he hasn't paid his full school fees balance. He doesn't park, and at school they don't really serve they don't serve the children who haven't paid. So he's suffering. He doesn't have what to eat. He's just there. He's malnourished. He's wondering what to do. So Cordelia, yes, if you are that child and you have a lot of land, what would you do? If you want to put that land to use, what would you do?
Now I can say, like, I could tell my parents that we have a lot of land with fertile soil. Why can't we start planting, and then we'd start selling half of it, all the food in it, and then I can get my school fees.
Yeah, so okay, like And then there is also corruption. I forgot about it. So government officials are corrupt. They are taking bribes. Yes, anti-corruption has been introduced, but nothing is actually changing very much. So there is this small village again. There is a family wants to travel from point A to point B. I don't know districts, so I'm just going to use that. Okay, let's say from here to Kampala, and they are going to take the bus. Normal bus fee is 50,000. That's all they have. But those people who work on anti-corruption, they are not really there in bus parks. I don't see them there. So the conductor bribes and says, instead of 50,000, you give us 100,000, or you leave and go walking, and you know how far it is. So you pay your 100,000. So you just leave and you go, or maybe they have their 50,000. They go into the bus. Then after that, they're overspeeding. They're caught by the bus, like the other girl who mentioned the taxi. After they're caught by the what? By the police because of overspeeding. Why have you been overspeeding? We're in a rush. You're under arrest, no overspeeding. And then after that, says, okay, no, I'll pay you 50,000. That's what you paid. 50,000, they give it to you. Then after that, you continue on speeding. You're caught in an accident. You have no money. So in that situation, all those bad things are happening, and people are dying because of corruption. People are not getting their basic needs. How do you solve such problems?
Like, would you first repeat your question?
Okay, I don't remember the story. So, how do you solve corruption, to put it in simpler terms?
I'd first tell people to stop being bribed.
But people don't listen. You know that?
Yeah, and that's the problem. And if I set rules, they would still not listen to them. So what I would do is, like, I would set a very big rule that say, if you keep being bribed and you're allowed to be bribed, I would just say that you're going to be arrested.
For how long?
For over 20 years, if you get a good lawyer.
Okay, and is it true that that corruption kills dreams?
Yes, corruption kills dreams. Very
Will
many
you
of them.
give an example?
Let me see, like, if you accept a bribe and then, like, you have an accident in that bribe, like, you see, you have gone, like, you want to travel to Kasese, and then they can't allow you money. Okay, like, you have 50,000 to travel to Kasese, but they want 100,000, and then you allow it. That same thing happens, like, a police officer sees you, and then you again bribe him. And then after that, like, you bribe, and then following, you're overspeeding, and you're still overloading, and you keep adding, you'd easily get an accident soon enough. So that's how corruption kills dreams.
That is like killing people, not dreams. What I meant by killing dreams is that, okay, let me give an example of the other girl who mentioned that once how can I? The other boy, Kabalega, he was a good runner, he became a class monitor, and then after that he was bribed. And then after that, the parents got angry at him, and he was sent to his aunts. On the way there, the driver was overspeeding, right? So the police stopped the taxi and told them to pay a fine. But and I was almost going to arrest them, but then the conductor pulled out a 5,000 shilling note and gave it to the police officer. They continued on. And when after that, some time, they were caught up in an accident. And then after that, they went to a hospital, and then he was able to pay the money, but he had got a fatal accident and wasn't able to run again. And remember, he was the fastest runner in his school, so that his dream was crushed. That was what I was meaning. But to you, if you are a corrupt person, what is your dream, your future dream?
To be a lawyer.
So how do you think corruption would kill that dream?
Like if I accept the bribes, like if I was like a compound prefect, and then I would tell like children to pick up rubbish, and then someone would say, I want, like, if I give you 1,000 to not pick up the rubbish, then if I accept it, and then people would find out that I'm allowing bribes. That's how my dreams can be crushed easily.
Okay, and how can you solve the problem of not packing, of children who don't pack food at school, and yet at school they say that you're supposed to come with your own packed food because at school they don't serve?
Okay, let me see. You're supposed to pack your own food from your home.
And if you don't have home, if you don't have food at home?
That's a big issue. My very self, what I would do is like, if my parents my parents have money and then they don't want to do it for me, that's like how, like, my parents have money but they don't want to give me. So what I should do is to talk. Let me see.
Hello viewers, I'm Trina, your host of Free Talk program eyebayo from Monday to Friday kutandika saha 4 mpaka saa 5 nikitweka. Thank you so much. Stay entertained.
Fort TV, stay entertained. Fort TV, stay entertained.
Adier kogere ha Fort TV butosa ngira programu y'ekyoto enganzi yabona abantu bona bagitaga muno ekyoto kitandika saa 11 kugarukira 12 kichweka ezarwe bajyo kandi abose turaliza abose babuli mulingo kwiza kwota neitwe nuko tusobole kwega kumanya kwetegereza engeso emutwalize yatoro neha.
Okay, what's good, my people? It's your boy Swabri Case, your official host of Western Connect that happens every single Sunday, 2 to 4 p.m. Keep it for TV, stay entertained.
Fort TV.
Yeah, greetings to the world. I don't know it's a regional real and proper Mr. Benny Gunter, straight out of Gunter City to the world now. You're watching Fort TV. Make sure you keep it locked in.
Stay entertained.
Welcome back from that short break. We are going to talk about now those children who take 1 meal in a day at home. So if you are LC1 chairperson, how would you solve that problem? Because they have a big land, you know villages have big land, but they take 1 meal in a day.
Well, if I was an LSC1 chairperson, I would, if my land had fertile soils, I would grow my plants, my maize and other plants. And then after that, I would serve food. I would get 1 week, I'd serve food to each and every home, passing by every home, and that's my solution.
Well, for me, my solution, I would encourage them to plant more crops. I tell them to plant maize, sorghum, beans, rice, matoke, so that they can feed themselves adequately and even sell some so that they can get money, pay school fees, and buy other things. So send your regards to your friends.
I'm sending my regards to my parents, my brothers, and to all my relatives. Thank you so very much.
I would like to send my regards to my parents, my teachers at school, to our trainer, Ategeka Richard, for bringing us here. I would like to thank Parental Care for coming and sharing with us their stories and poems. And I would like to remind you that you can always see us on your TV channels. You can download the Fort TV app, or you can go on our websites, either WhatsApp or YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, and we'll always be there. Fort TV, stay entertained. See you soon.